correction in your pattern. It is on this one. So down here, I said you need a half a width of fabric, you need a full width. And if you have a kit, you should have the full width of fabric to do it. So we've cut these out. I do want to go over cutting, and I don't have the dial. I'll grab it. These.
Lots of flying geese.
Lots of flying geese and lots of triangles. So I'm going to go over cutting these triangles. You're going to do the same thing for the 8-inch cube that you're going to do for the 4-inch cube. So did anybody bring show and tell?
Yes, I have some. Well, it's basically, I wanted to share this. My daughter's mother-in-law gave me 13 blocks, and they're all hand pieced. And I thought this was an interesting way of how she did that, and I can pass it around. And so she wanted me to put it together as a, say, a lap quilt. They're 12.5-inch blocks, and I'm putting a sashing in between. It's not AccuQuilt, but I just wanted to share that.
I saw those, they're beautiful.
These are the Dresdens, and then this one is the one that she did on Tuesday night, and I did it. Whoa! Doesn't that turn out cute?
Yes.
And instead of turning that circle, I just cut it out and appliqued it on, and I used a real, well, whatever that roll of stuff is, that fused, is that?
Hot fix adhesive?
Yeah, I used that because it's not real heavy
It's not.
like the Heat and Bond is.
Yes.
So, but it turned out cute, and I did the blanket stitch, so it turned out really cute. It's kind of tedious, you know, with the little Dresden, but it worked out, and so I just wanted to share that.
I've got, I showed it on the shelf, but I'll show it again. It's, I want to say this is the 20, it's not AccuQuilt, it's the 20-something degree ruler.
Oh, that's cool.
And so, another Dresden. I like that one. It's long. It's probably this long, the ruler.
Oh.
So that's how you can get these giant
Okay.
blades.
So that's just strictly your fabric, that
Right.
blue and green.
Yeah.
It makes that stripe look.
Yeah.
Because it's the fabric.
So I used a striped fabric,
Cool.
and it made it kind of this arc.
I love that.
But one of the things I like about that one, there's no center. So you can make a solid piece right there. So that's what I like about that one.
But it would be kind of cool to applique a blue in the center of that one too.
Yeah. But I'm done with it.
I know.
I have been working on finishing up unfinished
Uh-huh.
projects, and so that's one of them. And then I think I showed you this. We went over how to cut this out. This is that pattern from
Oh yeah.
All People Quilt,
Yeah.
and how to cut it out with the. So I got it quilted,
That's pretty.
and I just used a leaf pattern for this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have our last project finally quilted. I still don't have the 4-inch cube one quilted, but I used Curly Swirly. One of my favorite patterns.
Yeah, that turned out cute. Are you gonna keep that one or
I'm gonna hang it up here.
hang it up?
Yeah.
Do you have a long arm?
We have one in the shop that we
use here.
do quilting here.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you use it to do other people's quilts yourself?
We do. I don't. We have people. We have staff that
Okay.
does that. We have Sherry and Nicole, and they run that machine. It runs 8 hours a day.
It's 15% off this month.
It is.
You bring your quilts in. They provide your batting, and you just have to give them your backing,
Right.
your quilt top.
I moved here from Austin. I had a long number there that I used.
Yeah.
Work.
But they do all the quilting services here. And it's Very
They
good.
do
Several
wonderful
done.
quilting services.
What?
I said they do wonderful.
Yes, they do.
Well, thank you.
They
And
bind
they'll bind it for you, or they'll just do that and you can
Yeah.
bind it either way. Yeah, they do that.
Okay.
Serging the edges off your quilt is a total game changer for binding, even if you.
I love it.
So,
Yeah, vouch for that.
I mean, quilters, we love the serger, and it gives you this nice finished edge here.
You don't have to.
So if you've ever, it's happened to me, where you're sewing the binding to the quilt, and then you look up, you flip it over, and you've got a pucker. So your feed dogs put a pucker in the back of the quilt. You don't have that if you just, you don't even trim it, you just serge the edges off. And so, works great. So I want to go over how to cut this. Has everybody seen this one? How to cut this one?
No.
I know you haven't. Okay.
You flip it.
So this is for the border, and it's also, is it one of our other
It's the
blocks?
second page, I think. It's on the.
Yeah, so you're gonna do this in the 4-inch cube, and you're gonna do this in the 8-inch cube. So it's the same shape, just different method. So you need 40 patches to go around, and so that's 4 strips. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open these up. These are my strips.
That grunge.
Yeah, the grunge is really fun.
It is. It is.
And it's really going to brighten this quilt up too. So I get my 4 layers. So how many passes do I need if I'm doing 4 layers to get 40? 10?
10.
Yeah.
10.
10 passes.
Because you can do up to 6 layers on that.
Yep, you can do up to 6 layers, but we're only going to do 4 on this one. And
Yeah.
I'm just lining these up so that my pieces are pretty straight.
Then you'll have a whole bunch of scraps left.
A little bit, not a lot though.
Not a lot, but a little bit.
And so we want the straight grain to go through. I know my salvage is here. And so I'm going to, I know AccuQuilt tells you, put this to your belly. So you're gonna run it through like this. I'm gonna tell you run it through like this. Right?
It doesn't make any difference.
This is the bottom of your piece. We want this to be on the straight grain.
Okay.
Or on the stretchy grain. Doesn't matter, right? So it's the outside if you absolutely want it. So the reason I do this is because you can save so much fabric, right? And that's the real goal of doing this, to cut quickly and to save our fabric. So we're going to make our first pass. Let me line up these edges because I didn't cut my pieces all quite as good as I should have. Mat. So you've got that. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to keep all of your layers kind of good, and if you want to come up and watch, that's fine too. You're just going to turn this die around, and then I'll hold it up so that you can see what.
The fabric, you just turn the die.
Turn the die around. Slide that off.
Do you use the AccuQuilter to cut those strips?
No, I cut them with a rotary cutter. So see what we're doing with the die. So you're saving your fabric, and so you will have a little bit left over when you're doing this. Same thing with the 4-inch cube. Just turn that die around. Layer your fabrics like this, straighten as you're going through. Any questions? Pretty simple, huh?
Okay, so show me what the next one's.
So the next one, let me run it through.
You're just turning it a quarter of a turn.
All the way around.
all
Where the
over.
point goes
100,
in.
yep. And I'll cut it, you wanna come up?
Yeah, so you can see it.
Does
Yeah.
that plastic board that you're putting on top of that, does that come with the,
Yeah,
okay.
that would have a square one. So see,
There's a 6-inch square that goes across.
so I did my first one pointing up, second one pointing down,
Oh, okay.
third one pointing up. And so I'm just making sure I have all my layers there, line up with the edge of my die. Covered, covered.
That's pretty fabric too.
Yeah, it's gonna make a really pretty border.
Up, down, up, down.
Yep.
So, I'm just gonna look at your,
So the first pass, the point was up.
Doesn't matter if it's
Doesn't
up or
matter,
down.
just what-
Doesn't matter, so just alternate whatever.
Yeah.
but this was to your.
Yeah.
How are you going to be able to distinguish which triangle you cut which way?
So on the die, it'll tell you what number it is. And on the pattern, it tells you die number 13 from the 8-inch cube. So, and then it has kind of a close-ish color match to the fabric. These, pretty simple. You're just, I don't have white. I'm just going to use the red here for an example.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So these, you're just going to fan fold over your die like this with white, not green. I do have a little piece of white here. So fan fold over to cut these out. And you're going to cut both. So when I say on the pattern,
It says that you're using the
blue, you are. You need 8 patches, 4 sets. So you're gonna,
Yeah, 4 passes. 4 layers.
4 layers
Yeah.
of fabric over
You got
this.
right and left.
Yep. So you have the right and the left, and then
But the right one is
just the square, just die number
Regular.
1. You can rotary cut that, or you can
13.
right. Die number 4 is just a square on there, so you don't really have much to this. We have used this one.
Uh-huh.
Die number 5 is one of our favorite
4 and
dies.
5 to make the
And so these are good for thousands of cuts. They do eventually wear out. You can order just this die
okay.
to go back into your cube. So like if you damage it or
Mm-hmm.
you know something, you can order just this die. Just come in and tell us you want to order that one, and we can get it for you. Same process with die number 4. Same thing. You're cutting sets with this, but this is white, so it doesn't really matter. So you can just spin them around. Any questions over cutting out our blocks? Okay.
I have one. I don't want to slow the class down
Nope,
since I'm a beginner.
Mhm.
But those pieces that are placed together, like that,
The sets.
yes. Do you have to separate those when you cut?
No,
They can be that close together?
Well, there's a blade in between.
there is a blade in between. So
You're cutting 2, so you can see.
I think I have enough fabric here. Yep, just.
Well, that's amazing.
Isn't it awesome?
It is.
And
You just got
when
right
you-
and left.
so we're cutting these in blue. They're not going to be white. So I have some scrap. I didn't want to cut up mine. But they line up perfectly, if I get it the right way, with your shape.
Ah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
AccuQuilt is a game changer for quilting.
Accuracy.
Accuracy, I say it probably every class. If I can't cut it with AccuQuilt, probably
Thank
not gonna
you
make
for showing
it.
me that, I appreciate it.
I'm happy to. Happy to. All right, let's talk about layout. So I gave you a diagram of how this block is pieced.
Okay.
And so it's basically, what is this, 5 sections. So we're going to be piecing this really long section down here. And then all of these long sections we're piecing. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
And then, so you're going to just sew these sections together. This section together, this section together. And then you're going to piece all of this together, this top part. Same thing with the bottom down here. You're going to piece each of these pieces together and then piece the bottom. And then, of course, piece the middle. And that's how the top goes together. Not a huge quilt. So this is not a really, really big quilt. So more of a wall hanging throw kind of size. But it'll be bright and cheery in time for spring.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost feels like...
Sampler.
Well, I did that because we were going to finish around springtime.
Yeah.
So, any questions on assembly? And then binding, you can use pretty much any color. Backing, any
You
color.
got any leftover stuff?
We have a little bit of the blue left. I am holding it back right now in case somebody makes a mistake in cutting, so they have this. But if you want to wait till next meeting and get binding for it in this aqua, we'll have it available. Okay, let's talk about next month. We're doing a demo lecture on converting magazine patterns to our cube system. You do need to sign up. We do already have a lot of sign-ups for it.
I signed up already.
Yeah.
When you said that on Tuesday night.
Yep, go out and sign. Yeah, they can do it when
I
you.
just did it so I wouldn't forget.
So it's a useful class because, and it is a participation. So expect to be asked questions and show, give examples. If you have made a quilt from a magazine using your cube system, bring it in for show and tell so we can inspire people. Because that's one of the things that people struggle with the most is, okay, I've got this magazine, but what dies do I need?
Right.
Right? And we're going to pull them up on the screen. I've got all kinds of, actually the store was able to purchase, it's one of the quilt magazines from 1981 to 2000 on USB. So all of the magazines. So I'm going to pick out some examples. We're going to pull them up.
Perfect.
And how to identify the block, where the block is in the quilt, and then what shape is it? Can I do it? Can I not do it?
I like when they can combine different cube or different, changing up your cubes with like a bob or something,
Yeah.
in the block on boards.
That's a different class.
I know.
Okay, so let's talk about next. This will be the March project. And no, I still have it open. Nope, I closed it. Wrong thing.
Will that class be at the same time?
Yes. Yep. So this is an option. So I based this whole setup on the churn dash, which is a standard kind of block in the 8-inch cube. Super easy to make. It makes a 12-inch square, but we made it fancy. I made it fancy, right? So you can take a regular block and with your 4-inch cube, make it extra. I love being extra. So that's one option. And then we don't have colors in there. Can everybody see there's actually a churn that, or this would be a monkey wrench because it doesn't have the dividing. So this is kind of a monkey wrench. So this would be an 18-inch square here. So I thought it was kind of big to cut that triangle out. And let's face it, we want to use AccuQuilt to do it anyway. And so I came up with
If we already have the 8" with the cube and the angles and
Yeah.
corners.
This one.
Oh, that's cute.
And so it's just triangles. So we've got a couple of options
What would be that size with the 8" cube?
So,
So you have that dimensions?
let me put something in there. That would not, this corner, this would not be part of the 8" cube. This would be one of the setting triangles. So
Right.
it is a 6" square. So that would be out of the 12" cube, or I'd have to check on the setting triangles to see if that would work. But worst case scenario, you use your 6" strip die, you cut 6" strips, you turn them, and well, actually that wouldn't work. You need 6½. No, 6 5/8. But I'm actually thinking that we might put squares in some of these triangles just to make it a little more extra. So, show of hands, this one or the table runner?
I'll say the table runner.
Table runner. So, this one.
If we like the other one better, can we make it, or does everyone need to be in the same?
We'll be doing the same project. It is the same 5 blocks. So if you wanted to do a different layout, that's entirely possible.
So are we gonna be using the 8" cube
And the 4"
and 4" Oh,
Right.
the center, I can see
Right,
that now.
so see these
Some of
are
those. Okay.
a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
it makes you more.
4" cube, 4" cube, 4". 4".
Okay.
4".
And this is gonna be
Angles.
scratchy.
Right. Scrappy. So no kits for this. Dig out those little bitty pieces that you've got laying around. Sort them by, so Penny, but I can't think of her last name. Penny. She works for Creative Grids. We did an event with her. And so I like the way that she sorts her fabric. So I adopted it. So when we find things that work, we adopt it. So what she does is she sorts all of her 30s prints. She doesn't sort it by color. So she doesn't have all of her blues together, right? So she has all of her 30s prints together. She has all of her Christmas together. She has all of her warm reproduction fabrics together. And so when she needs to make a scrappy quilt, because she does make scrappy quilts, she can go, okay, I want to make a 30s scrappy quilt or a Christmas
So what was
or,
her name?
oh, her first name's Penny. I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
But she did a very beautiful.
I just thought it'd be interesting to pull her up and see what she's doing.
Yeah.
I kind of do the same thing with my scraps. However, like this Dresden was, it only took the 2.5 inch, so I just pulled out all my strips from, and I do them by color.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have them in Ziploc bags. This was from another quilt that I had already done, so I had everything.
So when you have them sorted by, not necessarily theme, but by kind of a category, Halloween fabrics could go in with your reproduction fabrics, right? But they won't work with your 30s prints or your brights. So all of your bright fabrics together. So if you wanted to do another quilt like this, you could do that. So I know it's work if you don't already have it done, but it's worth it to go and do that. And even with your little bitty scraps, your little pieces that are just this big, I keep these.
Oh yeah.
And I just have a bucket that I'm like, okay, well, there's whites. So all of my creams and whites are in one little plastic tub of stuff this size. If it's yardage, then it's folded and put on a shelf.
I even clip the little ends off.
Yep.
And make my headers and footers because I run
Yep.
a little fabric in before I start stitching leads.
Yep.
So, what do you
So,
call them? I
Leader.
call them a header and a footer. Because
So next class, we'll take the same survey and see what everybody wants. We may end up not doing this one, so it's the majority. So we've got 6 here, and there's smaller class. So
Well, I think it's good because I think we all have the 4 and the 8.
Yeah.
And then we won't have to buy the 12.
right,
Another one, right, for right now.
I have the 12, but I haven't used a single
And
pair
the
of
4 and the 8 do not come in that big box.
the big box.
Well,
No.
my son bought
Per
me
set.
that big square box for my birthday. And I just wondered if those,
She got a set, so that's what it sounds like, and a kit, a big box.
I don't know what your son
okay.
got you. So it'll say, so right up here on the top, it'll say 8-inch, 4-inch. They are color coded, so if you notice, they're all different colors. 9, 12 is green, so it's pretty easy way to identify. 4 is the green, the pink is blue, and it's the 8-inch cube. So yeah, we'll have fun with this. Little pieces and big
Looks like
pieces.
it's
Yeah.
But you can do this too. So we'll talk about this more next month. But there's foam. I think I found it at Hobby Lobby or Joann's. It's really thin foam. And so I use AccuQuilt. I'm a big fan of it. But if you don't have it, and you're not, computer savvy, you can go. It's either Joann's or Hobby Lobby. They have this really thin foam. Cut out your shapes. Cut out 5 or 6 of these, and start assembling blocks. So think of it like a puzzle, where
Craft
you can
foam.
craft foam. But they don't. So it's like the really thin. It's like a 1/16 of an inch, or an 1/8 of an. It's more like an 1/8 of an inch thick, and it'll go through just fine.
Yeah, you can cut paper and everything on those things.
So that's a way for you to kind of experiment if you don't have this available. Questions over anything?
What size cubes would you use for this?
This is going to be the 8-inch cube. I don't think we're using 8-inch angles. So 8-inch cube, 4-inch cube, and 4-inch angles. Cube. So this is out of the cube, angles. This is all out of the cube. This is
So we'll get a printout of that so we can decide whether we want to kind of go with those colors or do our own little scrappy, like in brights or darks or.
So yeah, this is really scrappy.
Yeah.
There are certain things that you need to do, and so if you're doing really scrappy, there are portions of this block that need to be consistent color, right? So you can mix your warm colors with your brights. They'll go. You can mix your brights with your 30s, and they'll match. But if you look, these are kind of consistent across all of this portion of the block is consistent across all of them. So kind of the same theme, and these are a little more cool, but they're still kind of in that. I have a lot of Kansas Trouble scraps and Kindle scraps, so I'm gonna be leaning more towards the the country colors. This would work in like red, white, and blue. So that would be if you want to do a patriotic table runner. So,
Do you have the measurements of that? Well, it's 5/12s, right?
it is 62 by 4. Well, so this will be your binding, or you could add a little border here
Yeah.
too. So right now it has a 1 inch, and I usually trim these off to 1/2 inch so that it just shows the binding. So this would be 60 by 12.
Finished, right?
Right.
Okay, it's pretty.
Unless you want to add a border, and then
Yeah.
you could do that.
Kind of raise it up a little bit.
So I think we'll do these over 5 months, 1 block a month, because, yeah. And that'll keep us busy for a minute.
Yeah, that'd be good with
Yeah.
being 1 block a month.
Yeah.
It will be spring then.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I think
So
the 4th of July.
we're talking
would be a
about-
good one.
March, April, May, June, and July. And June, we may have to modify our dates because we have Kansas City Regional Quilt Festival, so
Yeah.
we'll probably meet early on in the month. March, we have AQS Branson. I don't know if we'll have to modify the dates for that. Nope, March is fine.
Okay.
Third Thursday is
16th.
16th.
What is that?
And then, we're good in May, June. June, we have a conflict,
Okay.
so,
Up a week or something.
yeah. So it'll have to be up because we have the retreat here. So we'll do this the 8th.
What day did you say?
6/8.
June.
6/8.
June 8th for,
And all the other ones are okay.
all the other ones are okay. We just had the conflict with the Kansas City Regional Quilt Festival.
Perfect.
So,
But, you know, what I like to do is have a printout and then kind of write on it what color I'm gonna use kind of thing, but how many colors you need and all that.
Yeah.
Just
So-
like you do on these.
yep, we'll give you the first one.
Okay.
We'll print out, you'll get the whole thing printed out, and then the first block we'll do.
Okay.
So, and these are fun to just make in half. These little square and squares. So,
Yeah.
okay. Any other questions?
But you know, I found out after we talked about the newer machines, my Bernina, that the needle can move a little bit.
Mhm.
And I have my singer sitting right there. All I have to do is swivel and there's my singer
Mhm.
with the table I got here, which is great. Anyway, and you just,
Yep.
and it's just
Pretty
a straight, pretty stitch, but it doesn't have the power to get through some of those seams. So I'm having to figure out how to do that.
Mhm.
But
A little
You know-
assist with the hand wheel.
That's good.
Yeah, some of those older ones. What singer is it?
it's a 1948.
1948. So there are companies that can upgrade that motor on those singers. I don't know. That would be one that you would need to go talk to Joel about to see if he could upgrade the motor on it. Possibly.
I have found when we're working with these 4-inch and even the 8-inch, that the little tiny irons really get your seams pressed nicely. Even when I did this.
Yeah.
I've kind of switched over using that, and then I have my steam iron to finish, you know, things, but to me, I have that little mini iron
The one you
is the best. And it's dry, you know, it's dry, and you don't have to worry about, it's just quick and easy, and it makes your blocks press nicely, if you're not using the finger presser tool.
Acorn has a product, Acorn Perfect Precision Pressing. I think that's the name of it. And has a, have you ever used a chisel marker where you push down and the ink flows?
Yeah.
They have a chisel marker
I have
and that starch flows so that you can put it right on that seam, and it really, really makes your seams look flat.
It's by Acorn.
Yeah, and you have to buy the pin, per se, and then you buy the stuff to put in it.
Mhm.
I did.
Yep, so you just
Pick
push
up that.
down right
I
across
haven't
that
had to use
seam.
it lately because of the small iron though.
Do they sell that here or?
They do, yep, it's up front. Yep, it's right under the register when you check out.
All right, thank you.
It's a pretty cool project. I do like their precision piecing. So it goes a little bit, I mean, it's a tiny mist when you're using it, and it will add.
Lot of
think-
starch.
Think about Cave fabrics are so thin.
Yeah.
Moda's, I can't think of the name of it. Ruby Star Society fabrics, really thin. They're not this weighty fabric like the grunge that, you know, you can press it and it really has, you don't even need to press it and it already has a lot of body to the fabric. I mean, K fabrics are really, really thin. They're still quilt shop quality fabric. It's just, we like to have a little more body to our quilts when we're quilting because we don't want it to move around or shift or stretch or skew or any of that stuff. So yeah, starch is your friend, whether it's the Acorn or there's a new Faultless product out that I like that one too. I think we're sold out of it. It's got a good price point. I think it's like $9 a bottle. Comes in a really nice Mr. bottle. Mary Ellen's Best Press. So, starch is your friend.
And it
Especially,
helps with when you're pressing them out before you cut them on the AccuQuilt too, because you don't take it off and you got a wrinkle on one side, it skews your block.
and then glue. I always glue these.
Yeah,
The glue sticks.
that Acorn glue is great. I use that on my points, and you
Yeah.
do have to set it with your iron, but it really held it. In fact, I could hardly lift it.
Yeah.
So,
Glue's your friend. I like it better than pins. That way you don't, if you hit a pin, you gotta change your needle. So I just put it anywhere you put a pin.
And sometime can you demonstrate the swirl technique? You know,
So,
when you have multiple seams coming together.
oh, yeah.
We can do that. We can do that with this block. How to do that. So I'll piece some of this before we start. What other questions do you have?
I'm excited.
Something different.
This is different.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
And then I have another medallion quilt that I'm designing, but we don't have to do it here. I know after that one, everybody's probably done with the medallion quilts, but maybe not.
Refreshing.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's it. That's all I have for you. Thanks for coming. Don't forget, sign up for next month if you're gonna
Are
attend.
these little senior ones?
Yes.
I use them.
You can have those.